Hi, my name is Aurora Sanchez, and this is my Code of Ethics and Hot Button Behavior Management presentation. Personal Code of Ethics and Child's Rights. My code of ethics for teaching is I will treat all children with respect. I will accept all children for who they are and where they come from. That goes with their race, their gender, abilities, and family structures. I will create a safe, healthy, nurturing learning environment for all children. I will model positive behavior. I will always be present. And their rights, the children's rights in a classroom is to always be happy, to be accepted, to have a voice, and have fun learning. Positive relationships prove to be a key component of high quality early childhood education. Hot buttons behaviors. So this one right here, I did struggle doing with it, as I mentioned in my yellow dig before. Hot button behaviors worksheet is one that I use almost in every training that I give. I'm a STAR certified trainer, and I do a lot of trauma informed trainings and classroom management and challenging behaviors. And this is my to go handout when I work with centers or staffings. I do ask the educators to fill this out. So it was kind of challenging because I, as a coach, know that there's always a why behind the child's behavior, and I always want to try to identify or help understand the child. So trying to do this, I was having difficulty because I wanted to write one and then correct it. So what I did was go by the most common buttons that were being pushed with educators that I trained and of course with myself. So number one was screaming, number two was the attitude of the no no no's, and number three was whining. The reaction was feeling overwhelming, frustration, and annoyed. And how do you respond to each behavior? So on mine, again, I went in through a coach's cap and I put for number one, I would respond with using positive redirecting. So if a child is screaming, I would say, that sounds like an outside voice. Number two is for the attitude of no, I wrote that use encouraging words and guidance and model the behavior. Number three for the whining, ask questions and encourage positive responses. So how would it fix the relationship with you and the family? So a lot of responses I got was surprisingly a lot of educators when they have these hot buttons and they don't correct it or address how they feel and understand why they have those hot buttons, they start to judge the parenting styles. They start to have less interactions with the families as they come in to pick up at pickup time, and they start complaining and giving negative communication versus giving positives when their child they come for pickup. They want to start with the whole negative. Oh, your child was running, your child was hitting, your child bit, instead of starting with the positive and then ending with a concern or the biting reports. But to counteract that, I would provide resources, invite parenting opportunities, have positive communication, and ask if they have any concerns. Maybe it's a new behavior at home as well, and the parents don't know how to bring up that behavior with you as a teacher. So, early childhood teachers can play a large role in supporting children experiencing trauma and diversity. Young children thrive when they have secure, positive relationships with adults who know how to support their developmental and learning and who responds to their individual needs and characteristics. And that came from one of our handouts. Behavior management plan before the behavior. Try to determine the cause of the challenge of a challenging behavior. It can be helpful to document when the behavior occurred, where the behavior occurred, what happened before the behavior, and what happened after the behavior. I got this from Documenting Child's Behavior. It's one of our readings again. And I strongly believe and stand behind documentation. You document everything when you're in the classroom, from the child's interactions, the parent interactions, and your interactions with your staff as well. How you consider relationships with with child and family. Relationships with families and children are very important. It is built with trust, respect, acknowledgement, positive communication, and a warm welcoming. Um, family, how family history and culture inform your approaches. Knowing the child as a whole for who he is or her and their unique self. You want to learn about their family structures and practices, their guidance at home, their home language, and their expectations and rules, because that can all help you create these behavior management plans and create a positive environment in your classroom. An early childhood practitioner can help culturally diverse children and understand norms and social expectations by meditating peer relationships. Preventing strategies to implement behavior before the behavior occurs. So these are things that I do as a coach to help um, identify behaviors or to do these strategies before a behavior occurs. Create two observations at two different times of the day. You want to go and observe a child-teacher interaction, a child in their learning environments. Schedule a visit to meet with the teaching staff and the directors to go over the strengths and the suggestions based off of the observations that you did. Then number three, you want to identify the behavior concerns. Is it environmental? Is it interactions? Is it a behavior? Is it something that the child is doing or a developmental delay? And then you want to identify the triggers before the behavior happens. So what you could do to support before a behavior happens, you want to use visual at the child's level as reminders throughout the day and review and reflect with the children what the expectations and behaviors are. Use praises and positive redirections, model positive behaviors, and deep breathing practices. Behavior management plan during the behavior. So, interactions with the child during the behavior, you want to remain calm, use positive words and guidance, clear directions, breathe, and positive body languages. Make sure your body's feeling relaxed because children reflect off of the energy and tension that you are giving. Regulate yourself and support the child. So, what you want to do at the time of a behavior and during a behavior, you want to do breathing techniques with the child. You can teach the child how to breathe with you and say, okay, let's breathe in and let's breathe out. Let's breathe in, let's breathe out. You want to have positive body language. Again, they can feed off of what your body, if your body's tense and upset, they're going to feel tension. Create a safe place for both of you. Use the calming area and the cozy area to go breathe and relax together. Self care strategies for yourself. Find calming hobbies such as reading, music, dancing, etc. Positive thoughts and mindset. Ask for help. Strive to build on their personal strengths by seeking help when needed and tapping into the knowledge of the talents of others. Remove yourself from the situation if needed. Ask someone to step in and give you a break. If you're feeling that you're being overwhelmed and overstimulated at that time, ask and call somebody to step in for you so you can take a breath outside, take a walk, a quick walk down the hallway, and come right back renewed. Use breathing techniques. I keep mentioning breathing because results have shown that deep breathing can calm emotions, reduce stress, allow the body to relax, enforce focus, and improve overall health. Behavior management plan after the behavior. It's really important for the self-care. After a behavior, you want to start. So this can go for the morning of a behavior or the next day is always start with the self-care of starting your morning with a positive mindset. Affirmations, renewing your mind, and leaving your personal life outside the door. If you had a disagreement, leave it outside the door. Your lunch hour, don't take your lunch inside the classroom. You don't want to be in the same environment all day. You want to take time outside of the classroom and enjoy your hour lunch um, in a relaxing atmosphere. Your classroom, make sure it's not overwhelming or and it's clutter free. The music you have playing in the classroom, make sure it's calming and relaxing, not overstimulating and loud. And self-care, you always want to ask for support and have a support system that's teaching staff, coaches, directors, or outside help. Reflection on incidents. You want to reflect on the what and the why, the causes, which is it triggers, is it environment? You want to create a plan, goals, and objectives to individualize for the child. You want to have positive interactions, removing the negative interactions. And aftercare, you want to reinsure the child, reinsure yourself, provide a safe environment for you guys, and have positive redirections. Education and complex human enterprise requiring creativity and imagination, heart, mind, soul, struggle, and suffering, grit, guilt, and grace. This here is a little clip from Becky Bailey from Conscious Discipline, and it does talk about how you can take care of yourself and respond to a behavior in a positive way in the moment of it. Alignment with my code and ethics and the child's right. My code of ethics allows the children to be able to feel like they're treated with dignity and respect, allows them to feel heard and seen, teaches the children how to accept changes and redirections, allows the children to express their emotions positively, and allows the children to feel safe. And on my reflections on the challenging behaviors throughout this course, in my opinion, they both didn't change. Instead, it actually gave me more encouragement and drive to work with educators in helping them recognize the importance of self care, creating their own code of ethics, and actually using it in their classrooms, and to motivate them to always be positive and to go by their code of ethics. And my letter to my educators is: Dear educators, every day is a journey and a mystery. We plan for the week and sometimes for the month, but as educators, we know that it never goes as planned. We have our good days and our challenging days. As in the book, Troublemaker's Lesson in the Freedom from Young Children at School by Carla, some teachers are quick to label children as a troublemaker for misunderstanding them and for who they are. I ask that we refrain from doing this, but to really go and understand the why behind the child's behavior. Take time to understand the child through home visits, parent teacher conferences, and setting goals. Create a warm, safe, nurturing environment in your classroom. Do not overwhelm yourself or your children with negativity, and replace it with positivity, love, and guidance. Always treat all children with respect and take time for yourself and self care practices. Love, Aurora. And this is a quote I took out of the book. I think is very important. It says, "We need schools which children and adults are teaching one another the skills that a free world will require: how to listen and how to speak in our own languages and in one another's languages, how to read broadly defined, how to heal and be healed, how to use numbers to understand problems and measure our own solutions, how to be loved." And here are my resources. I want to thank you for taking time to listening to my presentation. And the additional resources is on YouTube. There's a section on Becky Bailey's conscious discipline, and there's lots of great teaching tools on how to make a difference in the children's lives, how to talk to children when they're feeling upset, and there's also uh, a handout on the internet that I found about breathing and meditation and teaching it in your classroom. Thank you again.